Hey guys, what's going on? Here we have this little 501st battle pack that is 75354. This is, basically version 2. This is kind of more specialist from Battlefront 2. And it's for ages 6 and up, so nice and young. Anyone can kind of get into it, and it has 119 pieces. With the extra pieces, it probably does bring that 119 over to that 120. I haven't personally counted all the pieces, so I don't really know, but that being said, we got this nice box here. There's not much to it. You will notice that the antenna on one of the officers is animated a little lower than it actually is. Not a big deal, honestly. It's slightly higher because of the helmet holes. It shows the helmet hole, it just wasn't rendered appropriately. LEGO did release a statement on that, saying that there's so many people working on it that they got done wrong. I don't believe that it's being fixed, but that is just a little inaccuracy on the box. Not a big deal, not as big of a deal as the 212 from earlier this summer. We have the specialist on the side box art there. Hopefully you're seeing that. Looking pretty good. He's got the new macro binocular piece. And because of the US version, the 20th anniversary is on the side in a very small format. And we have the back showing off the one feature. A pretty good set, if I do say so myself. I really enjoyed it. It has some pretty nice looking weapons and clones. But you don't want to see me talk about this box all day long, right? You want to see the set. But before we do, you get a nice selection of extra pieces, including an extra pistol, so you could dual wield your officer here. And then you get an extra, I'm trying to bring this as close to you as I can, but extra macro binocular. But we'll get more on that on the close-up. And then of course, because you got a pack of visors and antennas, you get a bunch of extra of those as well. We have the instructions, which is just plain, no box art. I kind of wish that they would bring that back. I understand what they're trying to switch to paper bags, and that was becoming an issue. But I do wish they would go back to that. Anyway, like they did with 2022, they have a minifigure, in this case the Heavy Trooper, that walks along to show you your progress of your build. But now let's get into these minifigures. Okay, here we have the officer, but before we get too far into that, the one extra piece that you do get that's really cool is you have an extra backpack printed tile. Now it's probably a little bit fuzzy, but it's really cool, the kind of extra pieces you get in this set. You could kind of make and customize some different clones. But with that said, let's get right into this officer. You do get a pistol, and we have an extra one, so we could dual wield with him. We'll get right to the antenna issue. Antenna is in the right spot. A little bit higher for antennas, like people say, but again, not a big deal. He's got a classic looking 501st helmet, and he has a similar 501st torso with the arrow, and then he got the blue belt, and he has a printed on waist cape, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's still not too bad. I do wish that LEGO would go back to that cloth one. I'm going to turn him around right to his backside, and a continuation of that, he's got the back printing there and the blue belt to fill in. And because they're clones, they're all going to have the same head, but they continue with that 2020 darker, more accurate head. And that was the officer. Yeah, 2 heavy troopers that are exactly the same. So we're just going to zoom in on the one. I'm going to flip that visor up so you can kind of see a very Commander Cody looking helmet, just in the 501st print. Looks pretty cool. Like I think it doesn't look bad. You could take the visor off and it still look like the 501st. And he's got a similar print to that 187th clones with the shoulder print, but no actual like capes or anything like that. He's got the bandolier going on, and then you got the printed legs, including the toes, but no hip printing. And then you got the brick built backpack there. And if you take that off, here's one without, but it's not, the backpack is not printed on with bricks over top. Sometimes they do that. It is, you got more strapping going on the back there. The one thing I will say about them, the gun isn't my favorite. It doesn't feel like it's accurate. I feel like there's another way to brick build a more accurate weapon for the heavies, but that is kind of like, I don't think that's even their default weapon in Battlefront 2, if that is truly what they're going off of. We'll move on to probably my favorite, is this guy. Looking very much, definitely remind me of the Umbara arc from the Clone Wars. But you got the macro. We're just going to start top to bottom here. He's got the sniper rifle with the candlestick. Love that Lego's doing that. Don't love that this is going out of focus. We got the candlestick piece on that long rifle. Looking pretty good in a nice way. There might be a better way to kind of make that into a sniper rifle. But that is what we got. We could build a crosshair style weapon as well. And he's got the macro binoculars. They're just plain white. I do kind of wish there was a little Sharpie line on the front there. I feel like that was the thing, but overall, not too bad. If we take those off. Yeah, he has the same helmet as the officer, just with the macro visor. His torso is different because he's got the blue arms. Unless that was supposed to be for the torso of... No, I did that right. So he's got the blue arms, which looks pretty cool. And he's got a regular 501st torso. The legs are the same as the other 501st and the ones from the 2020. Turn around to the back. He's got some pretty good detail back printing here. I don't know what each section is called. And he has the same head as the rest of them. But let's be honest, the figures are why you buy this set. And the figures are pretty good. For me, I'm going to slide this to the side. Alright, here we go. Maybe. Alright, we got the build here. Turn it to the sides just so you can see. You got, right here is the seat. And you just stick one of your guys. Yes, he's holding his gun still. And it sits like that. The legs can move slightly. But having an army in these things would look really cool. Just going to say that right out. I would like it if my camera could stay focused. There we go. Then this is just, it only moves slightly, but with these kind of cannons, they're not supposed to have a lot of movability. They're mostly to hit some targets long range. They're very similar to having a modified ATT gun kind of thing on some legs. And then for the spring-loaded, you just press down like you do with any spring-loaded anything, and it fires off. But a nice aggressive-looking tank. Could it be a little bit better? Yes, but is it bad for 20 bucks? Not in any way. And then you get 4 great minifigures. So I'm going to line up right here like an army. The big question that is going to be asked, if it hasn't already, is can you army build with these guys? I want to say you can. You can take off their accessories and they look like the 501st. You can take off their visors and macro binoculars and they look like 501st. But we're having a hard time focusing here. Like I was saying, yes, you can army build with these guys, absolutely. I got the limit of 2 and I plan on getting some more. And I think having, 4 of each of these guys is not a bad thing, or more. You can have 10 of each of these and it's still not a bad way. You could take and mix and match some helmets here. You could add the heavy trooper to a regular and just kind of mix and match their torsos and helmets and kind of have some fun with it. Yeah, you can army build this. This is definitely worth that $20. I would say, go out and grab a couple when they become available again, because you definitely have a couple years, hopefully, maybe only a year with the rate Lego sets are retiring. But that is going to do it for this video. Go ahead and smash that like button for me. That really means a lot and helps this video out. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and watch the next video right over here.